I think it's vital because if I'm going to be doing a little seminar for the people at the Moosh, the Christopher Grossman's group, and that's one of the things I want to talk about. I mean, why do you even bother with radio news today? I mean, in those days, radio was the main source of news. I mean, today you've got the internet, you've got 24-hour news. You've got, how many different news channels on television. You've got all news radio like 680 in Toronto. You've got the internet. I mean, there's so many sources of news. Why would anybody listen to newscast on radio? In the car, yeah, I suppose there's some reason for the car. But I mean, I think to attract, you're not going to attract listeners with news, I think, unless you've got some style. I think there's nobody out there that I know of, anyhow, who has got a radio newscaster style. There are no great newscasters today on radio. Thinking of people like Jack Dennett and the late Gordon Sinclair, people who brought a flair, a personality, a special style, even an opinion. You didn't want to miss them in the morning. And I was always flattered when somebody would say, hey, they would sit in a parking lot because they wanted to hear my commentary. Even if they were late for work, they'd sit in a car listening. I think that is a great compliment. And the greatest compliment I have, in fact, I've still got it. It's at my desk because I pulled it out for some other reason. This is a long story, but it's one of my favorites. I got a letter from a listener. And it turned out I had reported the death of somebody in a traffic accident, routine kind of story. This woman was a friend, and she wrote to me that just first she'd heard that her friend had been killed in this traffic accident. I mean, you obviously you don't report that until family is notified, but you can't notify every friend. So, but she was shocked to learn that her friend had been killed in this traffic accident on the Queen Elizabeth Way, as I seem to recall. But she wrote me and said if she had to get that kind of bad news, she was so glad that I was the one to deliver it to her. I took that as an immense compliment. I mean, to the point, 40 years later, I've still got her letter. I mean, that shows the power of the media, and it's very humbling to me. That is one of my most precious possessions, is that letter, because that sentiment meant so much to me.